Have you ever wondered what a political party does when it realizes it can no longer easily control its most loyal voters? It does not suddenly change its policies. It does not suddenly start treating those voters with respect. It simply tries to replace them. Today, we are going to expose a deliberate, undeniable political agenda. I am going to show you exactly how the Democratic Party is actively working to replace and erase the Black American voter. And if you stay with me until the very end, I will reveal the single, devastating strategy you must use to bring this entire political machine to a grinding halt. Do not turn away. This is the conversation they do not want you to have. Let's look at the current political landscape. It is time for Black Americans to ask some incredibly hard questions about their unwavering support for Democrats and the party's aggressive, uncompromising agenda for newly arrived immigrants. You only need to look at how fiercely they are fighting for the American Dream and Promise Act. This is a massive piece of legislation designed to provide a pathway to citizenship and permanent legal status for millions of undocumented immigrants. But it is not just the bill itself, it is how they are fighting for it. When this bill stalled, Democrats did not just accept defeat, they escalated. They are using rare, aggressive legislative rules like the Discharge Petition. For those who do not know, a discharge petition is a procedural weapon. It requires absolute political unity. It allows politicians to bypass the committee completely and force a vote on the House floor. They are breaking the normal rules of Congress. They are cashing in massive political capital. They are leaving blood on the legislative floor to make absolutely sure they protect a brand new future voting bloc. Now, ask yourself a very painful question. When was the last time the Democratic Party used a discharge petition for you? When foundational Black Americans demand tangible, life-saving legislation like an anti-Black hate crime bill or real police reform with teeth, what do you get? You do not get discharge petitions. You get endless excuses. Sure, they have to show some kind of symbolic support. They will present the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. They will waive the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act in front of the cameras. They will draft a Reparations Now resolution. But none of these are pushed with the ruthless aggression of a discharge petition. These bills are perfectly designed to look good on paper, generate campaign donations, and quietly die in committee. They will look you right in the eyes and tell you, a rising tide lifts all boats. How well has that worked out for Black Americans? Not well at all. You have not seen a rising tide since the Civil Rights era. When they say a rising tide lifts all boats, they are hiding the fact that working-class Black Americans are drowning while the resources of your homeland are handed to people who arrived yesterday. Why are they doing this? Why expend so much energy on immigration while ignoring the foundational people of this country? The facts plainly show that the Democratic Party is courting a new demographic to replace and erase Black American voters. The facts are undeniable. They cannot be disputed. They look at the data. They see that your enthusiasm is dropping. They see that you are waking up. So, instead of delivering the tangibles necessary to earn your vote back, they decided it is easier to import and legalize a replacement base. They are securing their progressive ideological mandate, fulfilling corporate donor demands for cheap labor, and building a new electorate that will not demand reparations. But here is where the establishment makes a fatal miscalculation. People forget their history, but we do not. The media and the political elite have conditioned you to believe that you must vote blue no matter who. They have taught you that blind emotional loyalty is your only option. They want you to forget your own incredible political legacy. Listen to me very closely. Black Americans have always been historical masters of transactional voting. Look at the timeline. From Lincoln to Hoover, Black Americans voted Republican. Why? Because that party delivered emancipation and the early Reconstruction amendments. It was a transaction. But when the Great Depression hit, did Black Americans stay blindly loyal to Republicans? No. They shifted to Franklin D. Roosevelt because the New Deal provided immediate jobs and economic survival. It was a transaction. When Harry Truman needed to secure his election, Black voters made a direct demand. Truman wanted their vote, so he signed Executive Order 9981 to desegregate the military. It was a transaction. When Lyndon B. Johnson needed to secure the country, Black Americans demanded the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Black Americans never gave away their vote for free. You historically traded it for survival, for economics, and for federal protection. It is time to remember who you are. It is time for Black Americans to return to transactional voting right now to gain leverage for your reparations, your anti-Black hate crime bill, and your demands for real, structural police reform. We need legislation that will materially affect our community, not those who just cross the border. So I promised you a question and an answer at the beginning of this broadcast. I promised to reveal the single, devastating strategy you must use to bring this machine to a halt. How do you break a system that is actively trying to replace you? You weaponize your absence. You use the devastating power of strategic abstention. The Democrats can try to replace and erase Black American voters, but they have a massive problem. They are not ready yet. They still need you in the swing states today. In places like Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the margins of victory are razor thin. Even a slight drop-off in Black American votes creates a catastrophic, inescapable, losing situation for Democrats. If just a few percentage points of the Black electorate decide to withhold their vote, the Democratic Party collapses. That is your leverage. No tangibles like reparations, no vote. No anti-Black hate crime bill, no vote. No real police reform with teeth, no vote. Do not let anyone shame you into giving away your power for free. If they refuse to deliver your demands, you withhold your vote and you hand them the L. Let them lose. Let them realize that they cannot win without the true architects of this nation. They will either come back to the negotiating table with real tangibles or they will continue to lose. Stand firm, know your history, demand your tangibles, and if they do not deliver, hand them the loss.